He's an 8-time Louisiana Association of Broadcasters Award winner. And he snapped a ball through his legs.
Wait, why does your name get to go first?
Shut up.
This is Scone T.
Because they made us.
Hey. We got the band back together.
Yo, que pasa? What's going on, y'all?
Welcome into Scone and
Glad to be
T
back, dude.
from Oliver Twist. T-Bob decided to show up for work for a change. Been a minute since he did that. We were off for Thanksgiving, and then T-Bob had a baby.
Yeah.
And well, T-Bob didn't have a baby. His wife Caitlin had the baby. T-Bob watched. And
Correct.
Congratulations, by the way. Wait,
Thank you very much. You just gave me a very sweet present. Don't let anybody fool you.
Don't tell people.
Don't let Matt Moscona's thorny exterior fool you. Here in the season of giving, careful, Musso, don't get hurt. Here in the season of giving,
My headphones down.
yeah, you sound good. Matt Moscona just gifted me some beautiful Christmas-themed baby clothes, and they are really cute.
Don't tell people. I
think my wife's going to love them.
I didn't gift him anything. I begrudgingly brought the bag of baby gifts.
The tag does say from the Mosconas.
That my wife purchased, wrapped, her idea, despite my insistence not to give the Bobs anything. All right, that's not true.
It's very sweet.
That's not true.
Thank
I'm
you very
excited.
much. Merry Christmas.
I'm very excited for baby Bob.
I'm very glad that my kid got to meet you already.
I was the first person that guaranteed to meet baby Bob.
Very random.
How bizarre is, like, nobody would have had the odds. Can we get odds from Otter on me being the first guarantee person to meet baby Bob?
It probably would have been long. There's probably more sense that it would have been maybe Hester or
of course.
Danny
the
or
people
Mario.
you work with every day, of course.
Yeah. Ran into each other in the wild. I was not there, but you were. It was fantastic. A great
Friday,
picture.
I was taking Drew to the doctor, and I'm walking out of the doctor with Drew, and I saw Caitlin, and obviously there was another woman with Caitlin who I didn't know. Apparently that's your mom.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
And she was holding baby Quad Bob.
Baby Quad Bob.
And so I was like, oh my.
Little baby Bob.
I probably scared him a little bit because I was very enthusiastic, because I was very excited to meet Quad Bob, and he's so tiny. They're so little.
Little babies are pretty fucking stupid.
Little babies are no, I just meant like I was probably.
I mean, he is literally pretty stupid. I don't think he was probably.
No, not him. I mean, like Caitlin and your mom. Because I was so enthusiastic. Probably whatever I was saying didn't even make sense. But I was like, it was so nice. It was nice to see Caitlin. It was good to meet Quad Bob. And it was exciting. Then I sent you a picture. I took a picture in a weird runner's lunge.
It was a great runner's lunge. It makes me very, very happy. But thank you for the clothes, man, for real. And I am glad to be back. It's interesting, Matt.
Shut up.
I think you're going to have to. I kind of want. I mean, look at that lunge.
Like, okay.
I wanted to put it on social media, but I've just been like,
no, you got it.
I've been
so, like, I don't know if they could see it, but there's the picture. It's Caitlin. I'm holding the baby, and my son Drew is right there. But the weird thing is, like, Caitlin is much shorter than me.
Yeah, she's like 5'3".
And Drew is almost her height.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm trying to, like, lean down, but your mom was taking the picture, and it ended up being a very wide shot, so it ended up being full length, whereas I thought it might be a little closer.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
and so I'm holding the baby, and, like, I go in, instead of just, like, squatting down, I went into this weird runner's lunge.
I mean, no. But the efficacy of the lunge does check out. You got the baby on the parallel with Drew and my wife.
It's there. I mean,
so
we're
that's
all
what I'm
there.
saying. Yeah,
but if you just cut the shot right there, it's really good.
No. It's way better with the squat. It's way better.
Way better with the
squat. But yeah, what's up, y'all? Look, I am excited. It's interesting. I'm a bit out of touch with LSU, honestly. Right now. I didn't go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I kind of had some FOMO
Lucky
there.
you.
Missed a lot of first-hand stuff. Yeah, I watched in the hospital and just had to laugh as whatever happened on that field goal happened.
It doesn't matter. I talked about it last week.
No, we're not going to talk about it. But the point is, so kind of watch that. Been trying to stay updated on the transfer portal, bowl prep, but I'm kind of interested to see what you've been kind of gnawing on here recently, because like I said, I just feel a bit out of the loop. Like, the thing I've paid the most attention to lately is probably the Pelicans, and that's just because I've been enjoying sitting there and just watching the games while holding, a baby.
And they're good.
And
Are you still using my login?
I am still using your login, yes.
You see? Do you see how one-sided this relationship is? I bring him baby clothes. I give him my login so he can watch the Pelicans and not have to spend $20 a month.
And you give me cookies.
I give you cookies. I give you booze.
That is true. And you did give me all that booze.
I gave you a lot of booze. I gave you a lot of booze.
I finished probably like 4 bottles of it so far.
That's aggressive. That is aggressive.
It's Christmas, dude. I cannot help it at this time of year. It's like end of the day, you're like, hey, let's just pour ourselves a 3-finger, and then next thing you know,
I'm like
another one.
I'm like that every day, right? Just get whatever I want a little taste of. I'm not getting drunk. I'm not even getting buzzed. Just sipping. It's like a dessert. Like that's just my little thing.
I find sometimes when I know I need to work at night, and I'm not in the mood, a little bourbon or whiskey or alcohol is just a little hard liquor.
Yeah,
a smooth sipping hard liquor is the perfect thing. To be like, all right, fuck it, let's sit down and
off a little bit.
Surf the internet and read and think and take.
So,
but yeah, I'm really pumped the Pelicans. Pelicans are freaking awesome. I can talk about them. But I'm interested to see what y'all been talking about at LSU.
So you'll have to man chat. I forgot my tablet, which a little out of sorts. Chat. But it was weird today because of the weather. Like everything was canceled, so normally I bring Drew to school, so I have a morning routine. I was off schedule today, which was weird, but so I forgot my tablet. But
I hate that. I know what you're talking
about. So a couple things. Of course, most notably now the portal opened last Monday, so it's now been 9 days that the portal has been open, and LSU's had 12 players enter the portal. They've doled out 6 offers, and so seeing how the roster is going to be made is I think very interesting. And then on Monday, the team started bowl prep.
Yes.
And I had a little fun with this today. So they started bowl prep, and there's been absolutely no media availability, no availability to watch any of the practices, and there have been no coaches or players available.
Interesting.
So like Brian Kelly did a teleconference for the Citrus Bowl, like a Citrus Bowl mandated teleconference Sunday, the day the bowl was announced, and nobody's heard from anyone since. So that's been now 9 days. So it's been interestingly quiet, so you kind of have to deduce these different things from whatever you could read on the tea leaves. And LSU today, Wednesday morning, dropped a video, about a 2-minute video of them like getting back to work.
Yeah.
And so we played this whole like Mission Impossible theme on AFR, like just scrubbing the video.
The footage?
Yeah, we're like Zapruder film, like scrubbing to see who do you see, who's there, who's not there. And I'll tell you what is interesting. There's been a lot of questions about Jaden Daniels, and I don't mind telling you, like, the conversations I've had, he is 50-50 on if he's returning. I believe he is undecided. From people in different avenues, independent of one another, who all seem to say the same thing, that he's weighing options and a decision hasn't been made. But he was at practice. He was not throwing the ball. They showed Walker Howard and Nussmeier throwing, but at the very end, you can look at Brian Kelly with the team around him, and there's a guy with a red jersey, the quarterback's non-contact jersey, and he's got his helmet on, but it's Jaden. You can see just like from the eyes up, but you can tell it's Jaden. So he's out there, which is good. John Emery was there. Apparently is going to play in the bowl game, which is great to see.
Wow.
May very well come back. Noah Kane out there as well. So
sorry, go ahead.
No, so I think it's just interesting. We're going to meet. We'll have the opportunity, depending on if you're watching live and listening live, thank you. But if you're listening or watching on demand, Saturday, 12:45 after practice, media will have availability with Brian Kelly. So Saturday afternoon, be on the lookout, because that's probably when you're going to get a little bit of a news dump about who's there, who's not, who's opting out, who's playing, etc.
What are the positions of interest in terms of what's going to change most drastically going into the bowl game? I know you're down to 4 scholarship wide receivers, right? 4 healthy scholarship wide receivers, I believe.
Well, you have Kayshawn, Malik.
Yeah. Jure is out, right? I know he's going to the NFL and he's not playing.
He's not playing in the bowl game. Brian Thomas, I don't know his health. Remember, he was injured against A&M.
Yeah.
So I don't know, shoulder,
but
whatever.
Chris Hilton's out for the year.
Yeah.
Is Kyron Lacey?
Kyron Lacey's available.
Okay.
And then, Landon Ibieta is on the team. He's the freshman. who was the only freshman wide receiver signee in this class, who I guess theoretically could play, but he hasn't played all year. But but that's it. I mean, you are low on wide receiver numbers. But other than that, man, I guess I'm interested in the running backs coming back, and then also on the defensive line. Like we have not heard if Ojulari is going to play. We know he's declared, but he has not stated if he's going to play in this game.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, and I've tried to find out if he's out there and if he's playing or not. But I guess we'll get that answer for sure on Saturday. But yeah, I mean, you're going to see a lot of guys on that defensive line, man. You'll probably see a lot of Xavier Carter. Quincy Wiggins is redshirting, so you're not going to see him play, but he is going to take advantage of these practices. He was in that video we alluded to.
So he can't. He's played in 4 games already.
Quincy Wiggins, yeah. So he had the foot injury, which cost him a bulk of the season, but he has played 4 games, but he's going to redshirt. So Brian Kelly's already said that. Of all the guys in the portal, I would say
Desmond Little's the only one that I thought that they were kind of speaking highly on, and would have looked like a door would have been open for him.
Desmond Little surprised me, but I think because so in the so Little was a sort of it was like a stand-up inside backer, and they moved him to Jack, the spot where B.J. Ojulari plays, and Brian Kelly kind of raved about him. He said, "Man, we were thinking we were going to have to move, maybe Ali Gay to that side and get bigger and whatever." And he's like, "But Desmond Little has really played well." Well, as it turned out, Harold Perkins ended up playing some Jack, and then Xavier Carter did as well. So Little kind of lost his spot a little bit there, which was surprising. But they do need help at the edge.
On Perkins, are we just all assuming that he goes back to the middle?
Yeah.
So he will, you think, next year? Like they don't develop him as a stand-up outside linebacker, playmaker, edge rusher type?
I think he's Devin White. I mean, they're
like a Sam, like almost like a nickel linebacker.
I mean, don't you see him being Devin White? Don't you see him being a 3-down, middle of your defense who can run sideline to sideline linebacker? I mean, that's what I see him as.
Yeah, probably. I guess it's just that ability to affect the quarterback is so game-changing, dude. And he was so good at it, so consistent at it. I mean, literally winning you multiple games this year with that ability. Like, I mean, I guess you can still bring him up the middle.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean you don't use him in those situations.
I guess Demario Davis is the ultimate example of that with the Saints. He does top-tier, all-pro job of rushing the passer from the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know. I didn't know if maybe plans had changed for Perkins somewhere along the way.
I mean, it's kind of it's the Mike Jones example, right? Like Mike Jones was at Clemson. He was playing that overhang linebacker. He wanted to be a Mike, so he came here, and he just kept losing. He just never won the job, right?
Yeah.
He just kept getting beaten out. But, I mean, Micah Baskerville is going to be gone. You saw Greg Penn play a lot this year, but I would fully expect next year with Baskerville gone, Perkins is that guy. Perkins is Baskerville in the defense next year.
Baskerville winning defense most improved player.
Yeah, I mean,
Charles Turner taking home the offense most improved.
That's interesting. The award. Did you have anything else that was interesting on the awards?
The Alvin Roy going to Mekhi Wingo. Obviously, the Alvin Roy is the award that goes to the hardest worker on the team, and he wins Iron Tiger. He wins Alvin Roy. Man. He's an SEC All-Freshman team member now. He's a third-team All-American.
How about that?
Mekhi Wingo in 2 years has racked it up on the college level.
Mekhi Wingo is really interesting, too, because that's a dude that came here at a spot where you had Mason Smith, Jaquelin Roy, Jacoby, and Guillory. Like, he wasn't guaranteed anything coming here. You know what I mean? Like, he was guaranteed nothing. I mean, and, of course, you had the injury, and dude turned himself to an All-American.
All-American.
He was a third-team All-American this year. Like, Roy wasn't. Guillory wasn't. I mean,
I'm pretty sure he finished as the highest-rated interior defensive lineman in the SEC according to PFF. I know he carried that title the majority of the season. If he didn't finish first, he probably finished the top 5 because maybe he had maybe the A&M game didn't go well or something. But he was, he was. So he ended up winning Alvin Roy. Harold, he could have been Defensive Player of the Year. Harold Perkins got Defensive MVP though.
Right? I could go back and look it up again, but yeah, I think so.
And then Jaden Daniels, your offensive MVP. One thing that's been cropping up to me that's a bit interesting, Matt, is that a lot of people are wondering or calling for Jaden Daniels to go so it can be Nussmeier time. But in theory, if Nussmeier is the better option, then it's irrelevant if Jaden goes or not, right? Like I mean, I get what people are saying, that the door needs to be open, the hand needs to be forced, but this is a coaching staff that we talked about throughout the season that is not going to be beholden to any sunken cost fallacy. Like, you can't just assume that because Jaden returns that he automatically starts. I think he does, because I think he ends up probably being the best option. I think he's got the most experience, and I think that his areas that he needs to improve on are so clear and distinct that it gives you like a very it's a much easier plan to form for the offseason. What do we focus on in spring? What do we focus on in summer that maybe somebody that's as raw as a Nuss or a Howard at this point? But, like, I would just say it doesn't really matter. Like, if you want Garrett Nussmeier, then you just have to believe that he is going to beat out Jaden Daniels for that job. Like, that is the best thing for the team. And look at the Charles Turner example. This is a coaching staff that is willing to tinker and make changes for what is best. There's a reason why Cam Wire and Marcus Dumerville just hit the transfer portal, and it's because Emory Jones came out of nowhere and became your right tackle because they deemed that he was potentially the best option. So, no, I mean, if you're just looking for what ends up with the best LSU, regardless of who wins the job, though it's probably Jaden, it is for Daniels to return.
Yeah, I'm listen, man. If you're watching and you've heard me talk about this, like, people are probably sick of hearing me talk about it. You and I have talked about it all year in a variety of different formats. Here, whiskey and wine, whatever. Like, you're not 9-3 without Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Like, you are probably a 500 football team without Jaden Daniels. I mean, it's the most surprising thing is how usually fan bases look at, like, the national media and play the disrespect card, right? Like, they don't respect our guy. And it's so interesting because with Jaden, it's flipped.
Like, the locals the Nationals love Jaden Daniels, but the locals are disrespected.
Go
That's
look
interesting.
at any assessment of Daniels this season, LSU. Like, they're looking at a dude that threw for 2,700 yards, ran for 800, led the team in rushing.
Ton of touchdowns.
A ton of touchdowns. Like, 6 different line combos your first 8 games.
Hey.
Like, you are dog shit for half the season offensively without him.
You know what it proves,
and yet, like, LSU fans are like, give me Nuss. I'm like, wait, the guy who threw 2 picks against Southern, like, including an awful pick 6, the guy who we saw him once extensively last year against Arkansas and was awful. Like,
well, I'm willing to say that there are traits in Nuss that I understand the excitement.
I agree.
I agree. And maybe in some world he takes some warp speed jump. I think that's hard to imagine, but whatever. I mean, there'll be a competition, but yeah, that's fascinating how the it's the inverse in terms of the national and local perspective. Hey, it kind of proves what I talked about in the run up to the A&M game, though. That was a must win. I mean, it changed the tenor. Like,
yeah, for sure.
If like the rational people can still sit here and be like, yes, this was good, and Jaden was good, and et cetera, but the all-out win, when you get the irrational, when you get the truly passionate who don't really want your fucking logic, they just want to beat fucking A&M. Like, if you wanted to win the entire fan base, you needed to beat that A&M team.
A&M ran for 270.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels didn't allow 270 yards rushing against Texas A&M. Like, that's why you lost that game. You didn't want to tackle AJ.
Very true.
All right, so, like, we can go back and talk about the offensive struggles, whatever the fuck. And, yes, the fumble on the mesh was awful, and he made a bad decision, of course. I'm not debating that. That's not debatable. He made the wrong decision. If he keeps the ball, he might score on the fucking play.
Yeah, I know. The good outweighs the bad, though.
But,
I mean, like
but the worst thing is I've actually had someone this week say, I think Jaden's hit his ceiling. Motherfucker, he's 21 years old.
Yeah.
What are you, like, do you realize?
Well, look at the improvement that you saw during the year.
But, dude, all right, Josh Allen was playing at Wyoming. He goes and has a good pro day, or Senior Bowl, goes to the first round. Fast forward 3 years, he's arguably the best quarterback in football. He's on the short list.
Yeah,
he's certainly in the top 3.
He's in the top 3.
I mean,
100%.
Top
Mahomes
5
and
if you're
Allen, I have
stretching
to
it.
be consensus
They're right
top
there. I mean, you're going to tell me this guy can improve? I mean, what the fuck? But you're going to sit here and tell me why Nussmeier can improve?
Well,
no, listen. But I do want to say this again, because every time I talk about this, I have to throw this out there because I get crushed on it. I'm not saying Nussmeier will never be good. He's got a lot of great traits. I love his bravado. I love the I don't give a fuck bravado. I love that. I wish Jaden had some more of that. I'll tell you. He's got the arm, son of a coach, all that sort of stuff.
You know what it is? You know what really attracts just the casual viewer who's already frustrated with losing A&M and looking ineffectual against Georgia? Jaden's playmaking ability. a lot of it this year was predicated on extending plays. And so at times felt like he was holding on the ball, and then he'd make something magic happen a lot of times. Sometimes he wouldn't. Nussmeier, because he has to be, and because this was a great pocket passer, needs to do, is a hit the back foot and let it rip type of guy, right? And so, like, I think from a spectator standpoint, one, the decisiveness of one feels much better than the other. But when you actually look at how effective both were, Jaden had whatever. He beat Alabama, all that sort of stuff, right? So Jaden's style may not feel as good as the quarterback play that you're used to watching growing up, and Nussmeier feels more familiar and decisive and a little more, like, dangerous with his arm. But he doesn't have Jaden's legs. He ain't running for that touchdown again in overtime against Alabama. The list goes on and on in that regard. And look, what I love about Jaden is, again, it's the very clear areas in which to improve. Throwing the ball downfield, trusting his reads one-on-one, maybe being a bit more trusting of his early reads and, like, hitting the back foot and getting the ball out of his hand. Like, he established such a good foundation this year, and I feel like him and Denbrock and Kelly him and Sloan and Kelly have such a good rapport that I don't think he'll stall out like he did at Arizona State. And now he'll have an entire offseason with these receivers. I mean, Kayshon Boutte's coming back is huge. Yeah. They could be together the entire offseason working. Him, Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton when he gets healthy.
That's assuming Jaden comes back, which I hope he does. Yeah. And listen, if he comes back and you go through camp and either Nussmeier or Walker Howard beats him out, okay. Awesome. Great.
That's what I'm saying. That's better.
Great.
And then you ended up with somebody who's playing really good.
But the fear that some have is if he comes back, then Nussmeier's going to leave.
Well, that's just football nowadays.
To which I say, exactly. Who won the Heisman this year? A transfer.
Yeah.
Like, Joe Burrow was a transfer. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, transfers. I mean, it's the nature of the position. Guys don't stay. Like, more than half the SEC this year were transfers. Spencer Rattler. Will Levis was a transfer. He's going to be a first-round pick. Like, guys don't stay. It's just the nature of it, and you just use the system to your advantage now.
The thing is, talent evaluation is next to impossible, right? Think about the millions and millions of dollars that, like, giant firms and corporations and whoever spends on hiring. On how do we hire the right guy? How do we draft the right guy? Think about the resource the NFL team puts in their first-round picks. Why do they still fucking miss 50% of the time?
Yeah.
It's just impossible to predict what somebody's going to do. So this new age of college football, if you're a big boy, a big brand, like LSU is, it behooves you because it takes the guesswork out of it. It allows someone like Daniels, who you already see, okay, he is a bit proven, and for whatever reason it didn't work out there, and he's already been seasoned a little bit. Maybe, like, I know he ended up staying in Western Kentucky, but, like, Austin Reed put up those crazy numbers at Western Kentucky. He's an older guy. But, like, it allows somebody to shine at a smaller area, become more proven, and then you to just kind of cherry pick him. Or so, even, like, get used to, or having your guy cherry picked. Yeah. Like, get used to it. It's going to happen both ways.
I mean, and then there's guys that have played it. I mean, Jaden Daniels at Arizona State. I mean, you have guys that are major college quarterbacks that choose to leave for whatever reason.
Yeah, so, for sure. That's what I'm saying.
My point has been, if you lose one of these quarterbacks for whatever, if Jaden goes pro, if Nuss leaves, whatever, you still have to. If you lose one, right now, if Daniels, Nussmeier, Howard return, and you bring in Ricky Collins, you have 4. Great. But if you lose one, you've got to go get one in the portal.
And you can.
But I've gotten pushback on that. I don't know if you've thought about that, if you have a strong feeling. But my thought is, like, if you lose Daniels, you have to bring in a veteran quarterback with experience to throw into the competition. And maybe they don't win the job, but you have to have some option there of someone with experience. Yeah. So it's not just Nussmeier, Howard, Ricky Collins. You have no experience at that position.
Yeah, fucking JT Daniels. I agree.
Bingo.
Let's go, dude.
Bingo.
I never consider it's the perfect helmet to add to his man cave. My man gets USC, Georgia, WVU, and fucking LSU in the man cave. And he starts for everyone. Not a backup, starts for every single one.
I just can't.
No, absolutely you do. More quarterbacks is never a problem. To me, it's the Michigan State thing of when Mel Tucker and them had that really good year, they brought in the transfer from Temple expecting him to start, and he brought out the best in Thorne, who won the job. So who cares? If Nuss beats JT Daniels out, great. Shit, we should get JT Daniels.
And then if somebody gets hurt, turns an ankle, you've got a veteran backup. Like,
Yes.
you've got an option. Like,
Yes.
it's that's the way I've said it. And I know, I remember having this conversation, and this was the example in, like, the pre-transfer portal era that got the most angst. You may not remember this. So this would have been in 2014, 13 or 14. I think it was 14. And what were you doing in 14? You weren't here with us. You had left. You were doing nights.
WWL doing nights, yeah.
Or
And
no,
I was
you
mainly
were doing
talking
the
Saints.
morning. You were doing the morning show.
Yeah,
Because I went
night
on.
started
I
in
went
15.
on with you and Christian.
Night started in 15.
Yeah, I remember going on with you and Christian.
Wow.
Because I was in Houston at the time, and I remember doing interviews with y'all.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, that would have been on 3WL. Yes,
so-
but I was barely talking LSU at that time.
Well, but this was like the most angst that I can remember around a potential transfer situation. So LSU had Brandon Harris, who was having a very rough go as a freshman, and you had Anthony Jennings as a sophomore, who was obviously left a year later. Like, your quarterback situation was not good.
Yeah, I mean, I remember all that.
It was not good.
Yeah,
And Everett Golson, so this was 14. Everett Golson was transferring. He was the guy who led Notre Dame to the national championship game in 2012.
Oh, yeah.
And then after the 13 season, transferred as a graduate and ended up at Florida State. And LSU was kicking the tires, and there were a lot of LSU fans that were like, oh, we don't need Everett Golson, fuck that. And I was like, hold on. Like,
What?
Your quarterbacks are Anthony Jennings and Brandon Harris. Like, this was 2014, which was...
hasn't Brandon Harris done very well in the coaching circuit?
He's at Texas.
Yeah,
he's an assistant at
Congrats
Texas.
to Brandon Harris.
I randomly saw Brandon Harris in Vegas a couple of years ago. I
yeah,
was there for my birthday watching a UFC fight, and saw on Twitter, and I texted him bro, are you in Vegas? And so we connected in in the Aria. Anyway, it was cool. Anyway, but I'm like, my point then was, how can you as an LSU fan, remember the context? This was pre-Joe Burrow.
Dude, no, they were awful. The quarterback room went through
This was
This was the LSU, the place where quarterbacks come to die.
That's when this was. This was the decade of you suck shit at quarterback, okay? And, I remember saying, how can you, an LSU fan, be so brazen as to think that a guy who has 30 starts and led his team to a national championship game somehow isn't good enough to be on your roster to compete for a job? Fuck you.
That's a very good point, dude.
It is never a bad thing to have experience and depth at the most important position in team sports. Give me all the quarterbacks and let them go battle. And if someone leaves, fuck them. Then, okay, go leave.
Yeah, like Dustin Blanchard saying, Nelson Walker beat out JT Daniels. JT sucks. Well, but yeah, that's kind of the point, though.
That's
It
the
doesn't
point.
matter. It doesn't matter. I would want Nuss or Howard to beat out JT Daniels. If JT Daniels wins that job, it's not ideal, but like Matt said, you get quality depth there. He's not going to go here. He's not
If
gonna go here. It
JT
doesn't matter.
Daniels didn't get hurt last year, JT Daniels leads Georgia to the national championship. Because, brother, I'm here to tell you, Stetson Bennett, fuck that guy. There are half of the quarterbacks in the FBS could win a national championship with that NFL roster Georgia's had the last 2 years. Fuck Stetson Bennett. Nice story. Walk on. I get it. All the great stuff. But him doing the mic drop, bro, I've had pieces of shit bigger than you. You're not that good. You're never playing at the next level. You're a good manager and made some nice plays as a dude who's 30 playing against 18-year-olds with an NFL roster.
Ballin',
fuck you.
dude.
Fuck you.
Staquavius. Let's
fuck
go, dude. No, I love Staquavius.
And my mother-in-law's watching. Just as I was saying, fuck him.
Oh, man.
My mother's-in-law's watching.
You think your mother-in-law wants to fuck Stetson Bennett?
No,
My bad. I misunderstood. My bad.
And she's the most squared away person ever. She's a grandmother. She's a grandmother.
That's not good. That said, I think Stetson Bennett kind of looks like a slightly more severe Timothée Chalamet. So he is good looking.
I would have a question.
He looks like a Greek bust.
So, I met your mom. Who's a lovely woman.
Yes, what are you about to say?
Brief interaction.
Yeah.
You always joke about Danny and your mom, or maybe you're not joking.
Yeah.
Does your mom know about them, Danny is Danny Cardenas, who's the video producer.
Danny stayed with me at my mom's house in Malibu.
Okay.
One time.
Beautiful. Are they beach Malibu or true Malibu? Earthy, off the water.
Earthy off the water.
Yeah. But, I know that from a $1 Million Listing.
But I know you do love $1 Million Listing.
I love that.
I appreciate genuine love of I appreciate when somebody really likes something, right? Is passionate about something, and I love that you have a sincere and genuine love for $1 Million Listing.
I love it. I want to tell my $1 Million Listing story, like why I love it. But go ahead. All right, so the Danny and your mom thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, Danny's not actually banging my mom.
Well, I didn't think that was actually.
And no,
is she aware of
I don't know. I don't think so. She thinks Danny's very sweet.
Okay.
So I don't think so. No,
Danny doesn't say much.
I have the rare luxury of none of my family actually listens or watches anything I do.
Good.
So if you think I'm kind of popping off a lot, it's because everything I do is behind a veil, basically.
Yes.
Like when I talk shit and say stuff that like should get me into trouble with my wife or anything else, like she never hears it. She says the talk radio makes her sick, so it doesn't matter. Like I can say anything. Now you know.
Oh, dude.
You push too hard, it does get back. You know, sometimes for sure.
When I was a kid, and I was born in New Orleans. We all lived in New Orleans and grew up there. And my dad would like take us to school, and he would listen to WWL, and they were like a CBS affiliate. So you'd always hear the top of the hour ding, the ding, do for the top of the hour news.
God, I heard that so much.
Like,
and then you had 11 minutes of news and weather.
I would literally I can remember as a kid. Feeling just like you're describing with Caitlin, like I could remember feeling sick as a kid in the car listening to talk radio, and now I do this.
What's funny is I always loved talk radio.
This is a CBS News update.
I loved like the cheesy family show. My neighbor was actually the main radio host in Atlanta back in the day. I loved that. Was Son Star and boy Steve McCoy, and then I loved the kind of racy show when I got in like high school, Toucher Jimmy Leslie. Yeah. I loved, you know who I used to love in the afternoon because it was like an hour drive through traffic to get home? The Two Live Stews, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I would catch the local hour and then the Two Live Stews were fucking hitting back in the day, dude. I wonder what happened to it.
They had their minute on ESPN.
That's what I'm saying. What happened to
I don't know. But
I know they got to still be out there taking, dude.
So $1 Million Listing, this is weird. So I really, truly don't watch TV and movies. Like, I don't watch, would you like scripted content or whatever? Like,
yeah.
Whatever.
You don't watch scripted content.
So,
even though, I mean, reality, you watch reality.
Yeah. No,
yes.
I don't even, so I didn't even watch even that. Like, I watch live sports because I have to, and that's pretty much what's on. And then if I'm not watching sports that I have to for work or whatever, like, usually I'm not watching anything. I'm producing content.
I believe this.
You know, that's like what I do. I mean, I'll edit things on my phone for like TikTok and YouTube and all whatever.
I believe this.
Like I wake up, I do more. Dude, I've done morning scone for 5 years. I'm coming about 5 years.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's like, and I've never missed a show. Like literally every single day for almost 5 years. So like
that is obsessive.
I produce more than I consume, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely does.
So COVID happens and.
Oh wow! So you never watched it before COVID?
No. So this would happen. Like Erica had to have just had the TV on Bravo because she was watching a movie. This is the only thing that I can deduce. And I was outside, and this was during quarantine. Like this is when the whole fucking world was locked down. And I come inside, and on TV, and this is probably the only reason that this is very serendipitous because it's the only reason that I would have stopped. You remember the guy for the Nets, Chris Humphries?
Yeah.
Who dated Kim Kardashian?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
So I walk in and he's on TV, and the realtor, one of the realtors, one of the British guys, is like they're negotiating a sale.
I love that your brain is so infected and broken by sports that it wasn't
seriously.
It wasn't like Michael Jordan or like I don't know, like Lamar Jackson.
It was Chris Humphries.
You're like walking by the TV, you're like
Chris Humphries. I'm like, why is Chris Humphries on TV?
Wait, what's Chris Humphries? I remember him.
I know the scene, man. So like
stupid.
But then they begin this negotiation, and so then I'm like, you know me and like business and money and whatever. So it's like I'm captivated because they're doing this like multi-million-dollar negotiation. So I'm like, holy shit, this is freaking cool. Well, then like the next scene is like a gay couple on the show like getting married or something, and I'm like, this took a weird turn, but that was Bravo. But no judgment, I don't care, whatever. But it's like, and so I started watching, and I got hooked, and like during COVID, Erica and I went like I have literally seen every episode of every season and every spin-off.
No way.
I mean, literally every season of Million Dollar Listing.
Million Dollar Listing are there?
So they just started last week. LA season 14. There were 9 seasons. Hold on. There were 9 seasons of New York, which I don't know that they're bringing back. They did a season of San Francisco, a season of Miami, and then there were spin-offs. Like one of the realtors is Ryan Serhant. They did like a Sell It Like Serhant. They did a mini one that was like Ryan's wedding when he and his wife got in. He was doing deals while he's getting married in Italy or wherever, and or Greece. And we even tried to find. There was one where
there's Comic-Con. You're going to go to BravoCon, and you're like,
but it's not even Bravo.
Ryan,
Bravo.
No, I know, but that's where that's where Ryan's going to be. Is that BravoCon?
No, dude, and so
you're going to be paying to get a picture. I've been there. I paid for pictures with like Kevin Smith and others.
I don't need pictures, but then dude, there was another spinoff that was Frederick Eklund. And who's the skinny girl lady? The girl who made.
I have never really seen it.
No. The woman who created Skinny Girl, the margaritas. You know the pre.
Did she do Spanx? Sarah Banks?
No, it's not. It's not. Shit. Hang on.
That is, Matt. That's a lot. How long is an episode? 30 or an hour?
Hour. Bethany Frankel.
So 40 minutes. So you chewed through about nearly 30 seasons.
Dude, we would watch one like
Listing.
we'd put Drew to bed and we'd watch an episode every night. It was COVID, bro. It was COVID. There was nothing going on.
Yeah,
like they had to
because there were no sports.
Bro, they had to speed up the development of the Michael Jordan, the Bulls Last Dance just to have something fucking on. Anyway, so dude, we'd watch and I got hooked and we watched it. So anyway, there was a spinoff where Frederick Eklund and Bethany Frankel bought a condo in New York, renovated and flipped it, and it was the whole season was just them renovating this thing and going through like dude, I went down the route. I've seen literally all of them. And then when we ran out of episodes, we started searching like for other shows that were spun off from this. Like, okay, well, there's another real estate, and they were never as good. So
that is.
It's the only thing I watch.
That so much. I mean, of all of
it's the only thing I watch.
We live in the most gluttonous age of content that human beings have ever seen. And the one thing out of Paramount Plus and Hulu and Netflix and HBO Max and everything else, is it HGTV or is it, no, it's Bravo, was Bravo's $1 Million Listing. That is the only piece of content outside of live sports. And it was all just because Chris Humphries was on the screen.
That's what started it. If he were not on the screen, I'm telling you, there's no fucking way I even give it another look. No fucking way.
Hey, is that Wayne Corbett? What's going on here?
The Flashlight.
Is that his nickname?
Well, no, Keyshawn, when they were with the Jets, Keyshawn was the number 1 pick, and Corbett was like the tiny undrafted guy. And Keyshawn, they asked, like, are you bothered by the fact that Corbett gets targets? So he goes, nah, I'm a star, and he's a flashlight.
Oh, my
His teammate, Keyshawn, said that about Wayne Corbett. They were teammates.
That is incredible, dude. Wow.
The flashlight.
Regret, Keyshawn. You saw Shannon and Skip Holmes get into the other day, dude?
No. Hello. Hi.
Oh, yeah,
guy who doesn't watch anything.
Well, I thought maybe
no,
in Twitter. No, but in Twitter, I don't watch. I don't watch First Things First.
That's good.
I get all my taking through osmosis through Twitter.
No. All right, we are, real quick reset, we are at Oliver Twist, Scone T. If you're watching live on YouTube, thank you. Please smash the like button.
Hell yeah, hit the like button.
If you're on Facebook, please like the page, share the post. What are these by the way?
So good.
Some type of egg roll.
These are pepper jack boudin egg rolls with like
those are the boudin
sweet
egg
and
rolls.
sour dipping
They're
sauce.
so good. Food at Oliver Twist is fantastic. Y'all come on by. They've always got great drink specials, craft cocktails, huge whiskey selection. If you have time off hanging out during the holidays, you know where to come, right here at Oliver Twist on Perkins near Essen, right behind Solu. And a great lunch menu as well. So come on in for lunch here at Oliver Twist. We're here on Wednesdays. The Otter texted me just a little while ago. He's like, are y'all at Oliver Twist tonight? I think we may have an appearance. He said till what time? All right.
The only thing that sucks, I got to roll right now. I know.
All right, I'll tell them that you're leaving.
I will get back to hanging out, because normally I hang out here for like an hour afterwards, and we all kick it and talk about a bunch of fun stuff. But with the newborn at home, and, wife fresh off giving birth, I'm still trying to be home as much as possible. A couple weeks, though, and our Scone T's will be back. And I think we are doing a whiskey and wine.
Yeah. They asked us if we wanted to do it, and I was like, all right. So it's January 2nd is the bowl game.
Yeah.
And so there's 4 games that day, but so it's the Rely Quest, which is Mississippi State, by the way. Mike Leach, golly, dude, we haven't talked about that.
I know.
The Rely Quest is at 11, and then at noon is
look at that worm in this mezcal.
Oh, that's the worm.
It's a little worm. Should I drink it? Are you supposed to drink it? Is it going to fuck up my stomach if I drink it? You promise?
Widow Jane 13.
Are you fucking with me?
Oh, no, don't do that. Why would you do that? Don't eat the worm. You're not supposed to eat the worm.
Why not?
That's the whole thing. You don't eat the worm.
No, you're fucking with me.
I'm not. Don't eat the worm. Tequila, it's always don't eat the worm.
What? Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
Wait, am I going to throw up?
You're going to die.
Oh, okay, I'm cool.
Like, there's shirts that are like, don't eat the worm. Look. Like, it's always like, look, don't eat the worm. It's the worm. Don't eat the worm. Oh, no proven side effects. There you go.
No, we're good, dude.
You're
Woo!
good.
And normally, Googling medical stuff never works out well.
Alcoholstackexchange.com says there's no proven side effects.
Okay.
So
We're
it
gonna
seems
trust
reputable.
Alcoholstackexchange.com is going to press
seems reputable.
power button there. No need to look that up any further.
Seems reputable. All right, go to questions. We got like 15 minutes left. Just do questions.
Get your questions. Ask Scone T. My guy Jericho Silvernail says, can I have a shout out for my graduation present, please? Jericho, what up, dude? Happy graduation. I saw earlier in the chat, coming to BR tomorrow. He said he's coming to Oliver Twist for dinner tomorrow. Hell yeah, Jericho. Very happy for you. Congrats on the graduation, man. Okay, music is saying the worm was concentrated alcohol. Okay, we're good. We're good. Did Hanny get his luggage back? King of South Coblentz now.
Oh, my God.
I heard the story from Jake.
So real quick. All right, first of all, Hanny, Hester, and I are flying to Atlanta for SEC Championship. We land in Atlanta, and they're like, hey, what time's our flight home? So I'm kind of, just like waiting to get off the plane. And I pull it up, and we're scheduled to leave Atlanta at like 2 Eastern, go to Charlotte, and then get back to New Orleans at like 6 Central, which means we would be back to Baton Rouge till like 7 p.m.
Wait,
like,
wait.
Right. Like, why go to New Orleans to then get connecting flights and shit like that? Anyway, like you would go there to fly direct.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They had y'all flying to Charlotte?
Anyway.
This is...
Yes.
That's wildin'.
I don't want to...
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's... The person who was responsible for booking likely just booked the most inexpensive thing they could find, and that wasn't going to fly. So we're literally getting off the plane in Atlanta, and I'm searching flights, and I found a return trip where we would leave Atlanta at 7:25 Eastern, and we would land. We'd be in New Orleans at 8 Central.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's how it works.
At my house at 9 a.m.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Right, exactly. But we had to get up at 5. Get the Uber at 5:30, whatever, to the airport. So we do that. We go through TSA, and then we go. You go through TSA. You go down the escalator, get on the train to go to your terminal. And we get to the terminal, and we come up the escalator off the train, and we're walking past, the McDonald's or the Chick-fil-A or whatever it is, and Handy stops and does one of these numbers. He goes, I forgot my luggage. Dude, we're going through so Hester and I checked back, and this was the thing, too, like, Hanny carried on because he was convinced that Hester and I
were dumb for tagging.
No, he thought, he thought Hester and I would certainly be carrying on. Like, he's never traveled with me and Hester like you have. We overpack.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
I'm going to put 5 pair of shoes in the bag, and I'm like, what if I spill something on my shirt? What if we go here, there, whatever? So, of course, we check our bags. So Hanny only had to carry on because he thought we would be checking bags, or we'd be carrying on. Anyway, so he goes through security, and he had a computer bag and then his luggage. He gets the computer bag and didn't take his luggage. So, bro, he has this, and I look at him, bro, you got 35 minutes till we board, man. Like, so he takes off. I don't even know how you would get back. I don't even know how you would get back into security, like, because you go down an escalator, you can't just like walk back to the line, right? And then if you go to the front, like, there's no way you can't backtrack.
Yeah, you can't backtrack up that escalator.
So we get on the Hester and I get on the
elevator, maybe.
Hester and I get on the plane, and we're looking. I mean, we're like, I don't know. Anyway, so like, 5 minutes to go. Here comes Hanny on the plane, no bag. He does this number, and he's like, well, and so he's reliving it in his head. He's like, well, there was like a sport coat and a pair of shoes, nothing irreplaceable in there. It sucks, but whatever. And Hester and I actually had this conversation, like, there's nothing in that bag for which I would go back.
Like to even go back and get it. Yeah, like at a certain point, cut your loss. Like, I'm fucking, I'm
the
chilling,
only thing.
I'm going to go buy a shirt when I get there.
Even my wallet. Like, I'm not going back for my wallet. Because if I have my phone, I'm immediately going to my apps and canceling my credit cards, and I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, fair,
the only thing I would go back for is my phone.
Fair.
Anyway, so Hester and I had this whole conversation. Well, the whole time we're just shitting on him. We're like ragging him about, like, we're getting him the Uber. We're getting in my car to drive back. I popped the hatch, put mine. I'm like, Handy, put your luggage. Oh, my bad. The whole thing was just a never ending. And anyway, so Handy texts us today. He goes, God, it's like he said, it's a Christmas miracle. TSA just called. They found my bag.
Wow, what?
They found his bag.
Did he have a tag on it?
He had no tag on
What?
it. This is the story you got.
Shout out TSA,
dude. He had no tag, no discernible evidence, like no prescription meds that would have his name on it, nothing. The only thing in his bag that was identifiable, he had a black long sleeve 104.5 ESPN shirt. And so when they opened the bag, he's like, well, there's a black, he said there's the jacket, whatever, he said there's a black long sleeve shirt with a ESPN radio logo, Baton Rouge logo on it. They're like, yep, sure enough. So $36, they're mailing it back to him.
Maybe that means that not that many people lose their bags, but dude, Atlanta is literally the busiest commercial airport in the world.
Yeah.
On planet Earth. That's hilarious. Shout out TSA, dude.
Shout out Atlanta Airport, dude. Hartsfield-Jackson, they run that thing like a machine.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it has to be.
The efficiency of that place was incredible. I was so. Like, when we got into line for TSA, I was like, holy shit, dude, we're not going to make this.
Yeah.
And then you just keep, they never stop moving, bro.
Like,
you never stop moving. Anyway, so long way of saying yes, Handy is getting his bag back.
Dustin Blanchard asks Scone T, name your top 3 TV dads. I'll start. Red Foreman, Fred Sanford, and Frank Costanza. I would say number 1, Frank Reynolds from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Number 2, Stan Marsh from South Park, Randy Marsh, Stan's dad from South Park. And, I mean, I think number 3.
What's the criteria here?
Just a TV dad. A dad in a TV show, yes. Which might be tough.
Just your favorite?
Yeah, my favorite.
I mean, I know who Randy Marsh is. Okay. I know South Park.
Randy Marsh.
I'm like South Park OG, but
Always Sunny in Philadelphia is my favorite show of all time.
Never seen
Danny DeVito's Frank Reynolds has to be number 1. And then I don't know why. Maybe I just have cartoons on the mind, but like I don't watch it anymore. But growing up, my like high school, junior high years, Family Guy was huge, and Peter Griffin was just an endless fount of funniness to me.
You know what's interesting about Family Guy? Family Guy is maybe the only show that became more popular after it was canceled and then brought back.
It's still going on now.
I know. We actually studied that in mass comm at LSU because it was canceled, and then maybe 02-ish.
It was canceled, and it caught on Adult Swim, and I think the DVD sales did very well.
It got popular after it was canceled.
I know Adult Swim is where it really started to take off, and then I remember getting into it, and it was like, dude, this show got canceled. And then I remember when they re-released it, like the hype around the re-release, and it was really good for a long time.
I would just go TGIF.
I used to watch all that shit, dude.
I would just go TGIF. I'd be talking like Danny Tanner, Carl Winslow.
Hell yeah, dude.
Does Uncle Phil count?
Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil's
yes.
that's
Uncle Phil's TV dad.
That's not TGIF, but Uncle Phil. That would be my wheelhouse there.
There's a username I lust for Hanny. Says at T-Bob, Al Bundy or no one.
Why?
I actually never watched
Married with Children?
Yeah, Married with Children. Yeah, I never watched Married with Children.
In the Moscona household, we couldn't watch Married with Children. We couldn't watch Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah,
we couldn't watch The Simpsons. Because,
I couldn't watch Simpsons either.
because Bart called his dad Homer. So because he didn't call him Dad. My parents were super strict. So like when South Park dropped and that was all the rage, they should never put TVs in our room because then on Wednesday nights at 8:00 we go and put the volume real low and watch South Park.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You have the jump back button ready on the remote.
There was no such thing at the time.
Okay, because like my original TV in my room was like an old like.
You got to keep in mind, dude. This South Park was probably 96.
Yeah.
97, the original, like the first series.
No, I know when they made it all with construction paper, the anal probe episode.
Oh my god, dude. Mr. Hanky,
original.
dude. Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo. Oh my god, dude. When they had the episode about Tally, whenever he was like, he was doing the code, he's like,
want to get high?
Like we'd say that all the time. That's when I got older and could actually watch South Park. I would do it. My mom would literally be like, want to get high? I'm like, Mom, it's hilarious. Let's see. South Park original date August 13th, 1997.
Yeah, I remember like
That's 25 years, bro. Holy shit.
having one of my moments where I was secretly watching South Park, but I wasn't allowed to, and like caught my dad late night watching TV, and he was like, "Hey, come watch this." I was like, "It's pretty funny, huh?"
He was watching South Park?
Yeah, and I felt like it was like one of those moments. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch South Park with my dad." Hell yeah,
good.
doing something bad. I actually watched Al Bundy more in Modern Family, which him and Phil Dunphy when I was in college were pretty great.
You know what's weird though? Like, so we all did taekwondo. Like, we were a taekwondo family.
Okay.
My dad's a black belt. Honestly, it's so weird. My dad and my brother are both black belts.
Damn.
And so we would watch like Van Damme movies. Like, we'd watch Bloodsport.
yeah,
I mean, I'm like 8 years old, 10 years old watching Bloodsport, but like we couldn't watch Seinfeld.
I love The Best Friend from Bloodsport. I actually watched Bloodsport for the first time last year.
Who did?
I did for the first time.
For the
last
first
year,
time?
yeah.
Oh God, dude. The Kumite, bro.
Dude. The bad guy has the biggest
Chun-Li.
pecs.
Yeah.
Has the biggest
flexes
pecs
them,
you've
yeah.
ever seen, dude. His chest is so fucking wide, dude.
Yeah, dude. When they go into the Kumite, he's like, "Okay, USA." Like, I still say that all the time when the guy lets him in the gate. When Erica bosses me around, tells me to do something, I go, "Okay, USA."
I've never seen Revenge of the Nerds, but whoever the actor is that plays Ogre, that guy who's Van Damme's best friend, when they like, he's talking shit originally when he get in Bloodsport. No, the best friend from Bloodsport, the big dude. I like him.
Bloodsport, like Kickboxer, Lionheart.
I haven't seen any.
God, there's so many of those movies.
You know what movie I want to really
Locked
see?
in.
I got a few. I want to see The Rock. I've never seen The Rock.
Wait, like Sean Connery, The Rock?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
dude, I've never seen
Welcome
The Rock.
to The Rock. Great
and that's
movie.
Nick Cage, right?
Yeah. Great movie.
I've never seen. Oh shit. Maybe not this. Well, I do want to see this. I don't know if this is what I was thinking of, but Demolition Man I've never seen. I'd like to see that
Dude,
as well.
Sandra Bullock and Sylvester Stallone. Hell yeah, dude. Wesley Snipes.
Yeah,
right?
Yep, definitely Wesley Snipes, I believe. They're making Rush Hour 4.
No, I don't see that. No.
Oh, yeah, Rush Hours are good.
This is a weird show.
Bluey, I agree, dude. Bluey's dad is good.
We derailed.
Hashtag Ask Scone T. If you are Brian Kelly, do you take a flyer on Denver Harris, given our roster and need for corners? I don't know anything about Denver Harris beyond the Instagram Live. Were there other character concerns? Didn't he get suspended both times?
So Denver Harris did a few things. Number one, you saw about like the live thing when he was speeding through the parking garage.
Yeah.
He missed curfew and was suspended for I think the Miami game, and then he was one of the 4 smoking weed in the locker room.
Oh my god. Smoking weed in the locker room is so wild.
Yeah,
dude.
not a good idea. So here's the thing, like, that's a series of really bad decisions. Clearly he's got poor judgment. Like, he's going to take a visit, and Brian Kelly will vet him, and you got to make a decision where you have very clear standards set forth. And it's like, there's not going to, if you come here, there's going to be zero tolerance. Here's going to be the expectations. Are you on board? And if so, okay, and maybe because he's a great talent, you take him, but if not, you bounce, and that's just what it is. Like, it's great talent at a position of huge need. I mean, do you realize the only cornerbacks on your roster are Sevin Banks and LaTerrence Welch? Like, that's it, bro, for next year. That's it.
Is Bernard Converse playing in the game?
Yeah, I would assume.
Okay.
I mean, but Jark Bernard Converse, Mekhi Garner, Colby Richardson, all gone. Demarius McGee, Radarius Jones have hit the portal, and you move Jordan Allen to safety. So, like, your only corners right now are LaTerrence Welch and Sevyn Banks if he comes back. So, like, you're right back in the spot you were a year ago. So you need some young studs. Like, you've got to go. Like, you got to get Desmond Ricks, which, I mean, they think they will. But every recruiter always thinks they're going to get. I mean, how do you feel about this? Oh, I feel good. Yeah, we feel like we're going to get.
What is it? Is it Taviano? Is he one of the big corners?
Yeah. I mean, yes. I know who you're talking about. I can't tell you I have any insight. I'm not.
No, the only thing I'm thinking of is him at the Alabama game. I know that video. I know that video went viral of him celebrating and rushing the field with the LSU win. But
wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't mean anything. Exactly.
All right, 5 minutes. What else?
Let's see what we got here. Okay, I'm looking for more questions, y'all. Put your questions in the chat. Ask Scone T, is Coach Kelly trying to sign mostly former Louisiana players out of the transfer portal this year?
He said that's a priority, and I understand why it would be. But, look, I mean, Aaron Anderson is a great example of that, right? He was a 5-star receiver from Carr. He had been committed to LSU at one point, decommitted, and ultimately signed with Bama. He played in one game this year. But that dude is a burner freak show. And I'll tell you, I think I might have talked. I don't know if you were here when I talked about it, but
no, I wasn't.
I had a conversation about a month ago about what the transfer portal targets were going to be, and it was they knew they were going to lose 3 or 4 linemen, offensive linemen, so they were going to. Because you're seeing it, and you're seeing it now with Dumerville and Hill and Cam Wire. Because these veteran guys got passed by freshmen. They're leaving.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, they knew they were going to lose them, so they want to get veteran depth on the offensive line. They need edge players, which they've already offered 2 or 3. They were going to sign a veteran tight end because they have one scholarship tight end right now. It's Mason Taylor. And they were going to get a deep.
Hey, Markway looks pretty tight though.
Well, I mean,
we'll see.
Yeah, but and then they wanted a stretch the field receiver. Aaron Anderson would certainly qualify as that guy.
Okay.
So.
And he's in the portal from Bama?
Yeah. I mean, he was like a top 30 player in the country. Like, he was a 5-star.
I think as well, I wonder if they're pulling from some sort of science or analytics on players playing in their hometowns or maybe places they're more comfortable in. Because I do think it's something that we kind of maybe underappreciate on the NFL level sometimes is how much the fit of a city and just a player's life in a certain place can kind of affect their level of play.
Well, I also think what Brian Kelly has learned being here is the importance of LSU to Louisiana. Like, think about guys like Brooks and Fouché and Jark Bernard Converse. Those are dudes that would have given a left nut to play at LSU coming out of high school.
Yeah.
But they didn't get a committable offer.
Yeah.
And so now they have an opportunity to come home and play at their state school. They're going to take it. So that's not going to be the case for everybody, but for a lot of those guys, that's going to be the case. Why they'll take that opportunity to come here and play. And it's why look, LSU, I mean, the conversations I've had when you look at NIL, LSU's collective is they had hoped to get about $5 million in liquid or commitments for the collective. They're somewhere between 2 and 3 million. It's like it's not competitive when you look at Auburn, which has north of 13 million committed in their collective. All right, like I'm telling you,
are we at all worried then? Remember, we talked about this. About kind of the Louisiana economy and the fact that we are we are in the lower end. I mean, no, we're at the bottom of the United States. That the Louisiana economy in this new era could maybe affect you negatively.
Well, I'll tell you a couple things. Number one, I'm going to be very curious to see if the NIL money being pumped in is sustainable because I don't think it is. Like, I've already heard stories of boosters who's like, I'll get you started, but like I'm not doing this every year. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think I think the number will ultimately settle.
It'll be like $3 million a year.
Whatever it is. But the thing that LSU, the competitive advantage LSU will always have is the dirt, man. It's like there are guys that will just always want to play for LSU, like Will Campbell, Emory Jones, Walker Howard. Like, those guys were never going anywhere else, no matter what you offered them. Like, they wanted to play for LSU. And that is the competitive advantage LSU's going to have in a talent-rich state, man. So, like, that's going to matter now and moving forward and always will for some guys. You're not going to get everybody. You're not going to give everybody. But, like, it's going to matter for a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'll show you this.
I guess it's just, that was one of my big worries going into this.
Like, I'm going to redact the name. But
economic resources, and it seems like you're already starting to see it a little bit.
Look, this is a like that's a text I got from someone about NIL. This is an awful tease, but the point is, like,
they're just saying that Auburn's at a position of business. Everybody's open for business.
They're saying a lot of people came open for business, and guys like Emory Jones and Will Campbell. Like, the text I got is 60, 66, and 50 are true Tigers. Like, they ain't going nowhere, and they managed to save 40, obviously with Harold Perkins. So they're going to pony up where they need to make it work. But some guys just are always going to want to be Tigers, man. It's like that's the advantage LSU's always going to have. Is there are some dudes that are just always going to want to play for that school, wearing that color, with that helmet, those colors in that stadium.
I hope it stays that way. I hope it stays that way over time. I really do. We'll see, man.
You're not going to get them all, man. And you're not going to keep them all, but you will always keep enough in this state to be LSU if you got the right guy at the helm, and you do.
Hashtag Ask Scone T. Would you be surprised if Bryce Young skipped the Sugar Bowl?
Yes.
Which is interesting. Hashtag Ask Scone T. Matt, how was that edition of Bardstown Bourbon I saw earlier?
Good. So Bardstown, it's the special releases they did are good. They're tasty. They're just so fucking expensive, man. Like, one of the bottles I got, I won off of Mac Chiwilli in our baseball bet. So, like, he had to spend the $180 on it or whatever, but, like, I wouldn't buy a bottle of that. I'd come here and get an ounce of it if you want to try it, but, like, I wouldn't spend the money to buy the bottle.
There you go.
Is that it?
I think that's it. Listen to Cliff. Cowboy motherfucker right there, boy.
So Larry Francis said, come on, Matt, stop being naive. All of these kids don't come from well-off families. All right, Larry, hold on. Like, you got to get the fucking earwax out. Because I'm telling you, they're not going to keep everybody. Okay? They're not going to, like, I'm saying these words. Did I say these words? They're not going to get everybody. They're not going to keep everybody. But there's always going to be kids in this state that want to play for LSU. Fuck, I'm the one who fucking got the agreement that Jacoby Matthews had with fucking A&M last year. I told you, like, that kid, LSU kept ponying up and A&M kept giving more, and ultimately for what would, to you and me, be a negligible amount, he took because he comes from a not well-off family in Tangipahoa Parish. His family, like, he took the money. So, like, it's not going to be everybody, bro. Like, I get it's not going to be everybody, but it's going to be enough in this place where you're going to always be able to field a team like that. Fuck, Walker Howard's a 5-star quarterback, man. Will Campbell's a 5-star tackle. Emory Jones, these dudes want to play at LSU. That's like Shelton Sampson, same. He's going to get NIL money. But, like, Shelton Sampson wanted to play 5 minutes from his high school. Yeah. Like, it's a 5-star receiver, bro. Like, you didn't have to get on a plane and fly to D.C. to convince that dude to pick you over the other top 10 schools in America. Like, you have that competitive advantage with a lot of these guys and always will. That's my point, Larry.
All right. I hope
you can only have 85 on your team anyway.
I hope that is correct. Well, it's been very fun. Very glad to be back. Love y'all. Hope everybody's having a great Christmas season. Hope everybody is all good after the storms. Are there more storms coming? Or is it going to get cold overnight?
It's cold right now, bro.
It's a little cold. What is it right now?
55 degrees. Getting down to 45 tonight.
Oh, let's go, dude. Please let us get a cold Christmas. Love. Come on, man. Next week, what's it going to be next week? The 21st? Ooh. A little festive Christmas Scone T. That's going to be a ton of fun, man.
Are you dressing up like the Grinch?
I have multiple costumes from which to choose. You should dress up like the Grinch, obviously.
Well, I brought you baby presents.
I know, but you know, in keeping with the bit, you should dress up as the Grinch. I have a few costumes
fucking
to.
Hate him.
Yeah,
he's the worst.
Exactly. I have a couple of costumes to choose from. Maybe a little.
I'm done.
Maybe a little. We'll see. I will.